Hey y'all, it's Elizabeth Weimiller, and I have your January 2024 insights, what you can expect over the next month. Let me just start by saying Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a wonderful 2023, and if you didn't, it's a new year, so it can be a new start to all new goals, all new things, anything that you want to change. We really do have that choice to make changes in our life as humans. So keep that in mind. The good news is we start January with Jupiter turn direct after 4 months of being retrograde. So that is positive energy. It's going to give us more forward movement because that is one of the big planets that when it slows down, there can be more delays, more setbacks, more obstacles. So Jupiter is direct. And then the other big one is Mercury stations and turns direct on January 1st. So knowing that, I think one of the things to keep in mind is we all set New Year's resolutions, or most of us do, at the start of January, with Mercury not going direct until later in the day on January 1st. And for some parts of the world, it will be January 2nd, very, very, very early in the morning. I think it's important to remember, like, setting New Year's resolutions may not be the best at the start of the year. And we'll kind of get into that and I'll talk through a better time to set them. But keep that in mind if you really want your New Year's resolutions to be successful. I would probably wait a couple days until after Mercury is moving direct and probably until the first new moon happens because yeah, so we'll get into that. So keep that in mind, but Mercury is moving direct, stations out of its retrograde. It still has its retrograde shadow, but it will be moving direct late January 1st, where it stations and moves forward. So with that, you get all the personal inner planets. So Venus, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn all moving direct right now. That's a really positive energy. It gives more forward movement. It can give more optimism. It can give more ability to get more done, less setbacks, less delays, less obstacles. So use this energy in your favor. One thing I want to point out is Mercury in its retrograde did move back into Scorpio. And I do use, as a friendly reminder, I do use the sidereal calculations for astrology, and I do Vedic astrology. Because Mercury transitioned back into Scorpio, when it starts moving forward again, it is going to, for the third time, cross the sensitive spot between Scorpio and Sagittarius, the final degree of Scorpio, which is a water sign, into the first degree of a fire sign, Sagittarius, called the Gandanta. So this is going to be from January 5th to 9th. It's a period where we can expect extreme weather, we can expect extreme emotional sensitivity and emotional intensity. So it could be, weather-wise, it could be flooding, intense snow, if it's winter where you are, rain, just lots and lots of rain. So keep that in mind. And that is a very sensitive point. Mercury has already been in Sagittarius for a good chunk. It only spent a couple days in Scorpio the second time. So it's going to transit back into Sagittarius on January 7th, where it had already been in from November 26th, 2023 until December 28th of 2023. So we're going to get another whole basically 3-week period, 3-week stretch, January 7th, starting January 7th, where Mercury will be in Sagittarius. Now, this is a time when, it can be a great time to think of new and original ideas. It's a time when you may want to learn more new information. It can be a time, though, where you do need to be cautious of not thinking too much of your own point of view. So making sure you hear people out, hear different perspectives, hear different opinions. Keep an open mind. That's not saying you have to agree, but hear them out, think through it, and really analyze what you are hearing. From January 7th until February 1st, and then again from February 5th to February 19th. So yes, I'm giving some dates further out. Mars and Mercury will be transiting together in the same signs. So the first date, January 7th, 2024 to February 1st, 2024, they will transit together in Sagittarius. The second date, which I will, you can go back and listen to, and then I will also share again in the February video and newsletter, but Mars and Mercury transiting together does just bring a time when you need to be more aware of your words you use. It's a time where it's going to be more important to be more cautious driving. It can bring up kind of that Mars-Mercury conjunction can bring up disputes and arguments. So keep this in mind. If you feel like you're getting frustrated or you feel like you're getting pissed at people, be sure to walk away. Do not just don't start a fight unless you're really looking to blow things up. Don't start a fight. Take the time, sleep on it, let the energy calm down, and just save those big conversations for the times when Mars and Mercury are no longer in the same sign. However, the bright side of this Mars Mercury conjunction is you've got more energy. You really have this ability to achieve more. You're going to be more ambitious and that desire to achieve your goals. So use it in your favor, but that moving more quickly does come with the potential of being more accident prone. And this is going to be even more true depending on what house this is in your personal, unique natal chart. So January 11th, we do have a new moon. Now, I know earlier in this I did mention like there's great times to start New Year's resolutions. January 12th would probably actually be the better time to start your New Year's resolutions. We never want to start anything between a full moon and a new moon. So the fact that we have a new moon January 11th, and then we had Mercury turning direct on January 1st, 2nd, depending on where you are in the world, maybe a time to just kind of take those first few days of the month and just think about, start kind of like being like, okay, where might I want to be? Reflecting, like thinking about it. But January 12th could be a great time after the new moon gets past its darkest to really, set those goals, achieve those goals, begin those goals. I mean, you're going to have that fresh start because I always say it's a great time to begin goals and new projects and stuff just after the new moon. And between the new moon and full moon, working on that really gives a very positive energy. January 14th, the sun is going to transit into Capricorn. This is a very practical transit. It's going to be really important to stay grounded. There's also really, Capricorn is the sign that requires hard work. It is ruled by Saturn. So you may find it's a good time to be more frugal, to really watch your spending. It can be really a time that it's important, you know, to put in the longer hours, to have the discipline. So this kind of really goes with what we're talking about of New Year's resolutions. What do they need? They need discipline. They need hard work. They need effort put in. Um, Good time. I mean, start of the year is always a great time to check in on your budget, but sun being in Capricorn is a great time to check in on your budget, check in on the holidays, what you spend on the holidays, bring it back in, budget, get it paid off quickly and move on. January 18th, we do have Venus transiting into Sagittarius. So it will join the Mars and Mercury conjunction here. So we'll have a lot of stuff going on in Sagittarius in January, which is a fire sign. So fire energy, a little more feisty. But Venus joining those planets, it can bring more passion in communication, in relationships. But Venus may soften a little bit that Mars Mercury conjunction. Maybe. But again, passion can be good. It can be too much. So just really keep an eye. Now, Venus in Sagittarius is very creative. It's very visionary, more artistic. Um, it's a time where you can really, look at the bright side and positive side of life. So that's a really good thing. Now, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Venus is the planet of overindulging. So when those two kind of get that energy together, it can be a time where you just need to watch that overindulging, whether it's spending too much, eating too much sugar, or drinking too much, or just any form of overindulging. Big one is January 20th. We are going to have the sun exactly conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. Again, I use sidereal. So if you listen to some others, Pluto's in a different spot. But Pluto for this purpose in sidereal, excuse me, is in Capricorn. Now, while I don't normally focus on the outer planets, if you've watched me and been following me for a while, you know, anytime some of the inner planets come conjunct those big outer planets, that's when we can see shifts in things. That's when we see events happen. So the sun coming conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, which will happen once a year for the next, quite a few years while Pluto is transiting in Capricorn, because it only moves about It's a very small movement every year, about 3 degrees, give or take, a little less, a little more, depending on retrogrades. But Capricorn's the sign of business and government. The sun is the sign of leaders. It's a sign, it can be one of the indicators of government. And then Pluto is the great destroyer and also an indicator of government, and kind of more the dark underworld side. So I do think around January 20th, there could be an event related to the government. There could be some shakeup, but it could also happen anytime the sun is in the same sign as Pluto, which is going to be from January 14th until February 13th. So just kind of keep an eye on that month. There could be some event government related, potentially some shakeup, some issue that arises during that thing. Because what Pluto's trying to do in Capricorn is break down systems and structures that are not working. And that's what Pluto does. If you go back to the last time Pluto was in Capricorn and sidereal, which 2024, we will have the exact Pluto return for the United States chart. So it's going to be at the same degree it was at the start of this country when this country was founded, which says Pluto's in the same sign it was at during the American Revolution. So keep that in mind. It's going to shake some things up, and it's a slower process of shaking things up. January 25th, we do have a full moon in Cancer, and this is going to be in the lunar mansion of Pusha. It's a moon that can be a little more sensitive because the moon's going to be in its own sign of Cancer. It's really all going to be about the emotions, the feelings. Well, Saturn, being in a lunar mansion ruled by Saturn, is all about the logic. So just keep that in mind. This full moon could feel a little bit push-pull in different directions on January 25th. With that being said, let's look at each of the signs and what they can expect. Remember, these are broad, high-level generalizations. The best way to really understand what's going on in your chart is to get a personal, unique to you birth chart consultation. So I will put a link below. You should also like and follow this video too if you enjoy seeing these. And if you really want more information, I do have a newsletter, and I do send stuff out to them that I don't put in video. So keep that in mind. But for Aries, this is going to be a lucky month for you. You'll feel more inspired, but at the same time, you may feel you can't trust that inner gut knowing. It's really important to remember to trust your heart and your gut this month. So while you may not feel you can trust it, it can be a really good time to trust it. It's a month to break links to those who are controlling you or trying to control you and tell you how to live your life. Figure out how you want to live your life. It's your life. So if you're at an age where, you can afford to pay for things yourself, it's your life. Figure it out. For you, authority figures will come across as demanding your attention and respect, but really be aware that their motivations could be more unclear or hidden, and try not to get in fights with your boss or father this month because the outcome will not be in your favor. So keep that in mind. Taurus, for you, support can come quickly this month, whether it be help from others or money. You may find you're more curious about a topic that leads you to dig deeper and learn more. And you can find that your mind is full of ideas and insights. So be sure, write those down and not let them pass you by. You will feel more worried or potentially vulnerable during this month, but this is passing, unless, of course, your chart says otherwise. But for you, it's passing. Really great month. Check in on your health because you may find that health issues surface this month, and it's good to catch them early. Really, with that health theory, it can be a great month to do a cleanse or a detox or reset. But again, I might not start that till after January 11th new moon if you want it to be most successful. Gemini, you're going to find your passions will be higher between you and your partner during this month, whether it's marriage or business. Really be mindful that if you feel like your partner's attacking your character, that you really let them release that steam because they're probably projecting anger at others onto you. We always project it onto those we feel closest to because we feel safest with them. It's going to be really important to remain calm, cool, and collected to allow for a favorable outcome for you in any arguments or any disagreements with your partners. Business, personal, any of that. For you, it can be really good to focus on projects that you can get completed quickly this month. You're going to have that extra fire to move quickly. but also pay attention to the details of contracts and agreements that you're signing this month. So make sure maybe get a second set of eyes on it or whatever the case may be, but pay attention to those details so you don't later come to regret signing that contract. Cancer, it's a great month to take initiative to improve yourself and your skills. There can be potentially more tension and aggression at work, which could feel you leaving more unsettled and uncomfortable. But it is, it's passing. It's unless your chart says otherwise, this is passing for you. Now, this is a great month to begin an exercise regime that you've been talking about. So again, wait till after the 11th is my recommendation, but great month to begin it. And that still gives you quite a long, after the 11th, it still gives you 20 days to really get into a routine. And remember, routines take time to build. Exercise for you, Cancer, this month is also going to help you release any tension building up within you, and you can be more prone to getting sick. So just really make sure you take care of your health, eat healthy, put your health first, get sleep, make sure your body has that time to heal and regenerate. Leo, make time to have fun this month. It can be playing with your kids or getting out and doing something fun or getting together with your friends. You may find that inspiration comes from unexpected places or completely out of the blue. So really just keep a pen nearby or keep your phone phone to be able to write things down in the note section nearby so you can catch those ideas and that inspiration. You can find that you just have that clearer vision during this month. So get out, see different things, get those things, allow those visions to come to you. One thing is, however, do not make any rash decisions. Take the time to cool down and sleep on them. It can be worth the time to write a pros and cons list that you can visually evaluate. So just keep that in mind as you're making decisions. Virgo, this can be a great month to make sure that your home has a more positive flow of energy and that there's nothing stagnating that energy. So let the old energy out of 2023, let the new energy of 2024 in. For you, it's going to be really important to maintain your responsibilities to family, work, and any education you may be doing during this time. There can be some tension around your home with arguments and disagreements. Just step back, wait till the tensions have calmed before having a conversation that'll help you get to a better place. Key for you, Virgo, make sure that you get your car checked out to avoid any expensive problems later, especially if you haven't done so recently, and be cautious while driving because you can be a bit more accident prone this month in that department. Or, just watch out for other drivers that are driving dumb. Libra, this can be a really great month to start working out. You're going to find your physical strength is higher, but also it's a great month to let your inner child out to play, enjoy the most of life, have fun. Use this time to express yourself through the creative arts, whether it's music, dance, writing, art, can even be athletics. It's going to be really important to stay calm during your communications, really be that voice of reason and calm, but don't hog attention. For you, Libra, if you have siblings, try not to pick fights with them this month. Just not a month to do it. It's not going to end well. So keep that in mind if fights occur. Scorpio, you are going to find that you can be more direct with your words this month, which also means you really need to watch what you're saying. And again, this is made even stronger with the Mars-Mercury conjunction going on because Mercury is the planet of communication and Mars is a little feisty at times. It's got its positives, but it can be a little feisty in the words because it can come across more aggressive. So for you, being more direct, Scorpio can be beneficial, but it can also get you into trouble. So take the time, think through what you're saying, as well as who your audience is. You may find that you're more impulsive with your spending this month, so just be mindful, set a budget, stick to that budget. It's going to be really important to take the time to sit down and enjoy your meals in order to avoid digestive upset. So no eating on the go, make the time to enjoy your meals, make the time to sit, let them digest, which will be important for you. Sagittarius, you will have more ambition and energy to accomplish your goals and to tackle things on your to-do list that have been kind of hanging over your head. You're going to feel more able to tackle those tasks and that, those tasks that have been almost seen overwhelming or unconquerable or not like you don't have the capability to get them done. You're gonna have that ability to make more progress on them this month. So take that, grab it, and run with it. You can also have the ability to really complete unfinished tasks and projects more efficiently. Be sure you're not missing the opportunity. I always like to say when the planets are working in our favor, we want to use that energy to help us. So the opposite side of that, while you're able to do all these projects and stuff more efficiently, you may be moving too quickly. And so you could be more accident prone. So just be mindful, pace yourself, move quickly, but be in the present. Don't be texting and walking down the stairs. Don't be texting and driving. None of this. Don't, when you're focused on a task, focus on that and that task only, or that project only, or whatever. Be in the present. Capricorn, make sure that you keep your home protected this month. Again, this is a passing transit unless your chart says otherwise. Just kind of double check that all doors and windows are locked before leaving your house. It can be a great month for you to get ahead on paying any potential debts on your credit card. So pay attention to your budget, get some stuff paid off. Take the time to reassess your budget and look over your financials and where you stand. Always good to keep that in the back of your head. And it's going to be especially important if you haven't checked in a while. So if you're like, I haven't looked at my budget since 2022, well, now's the time. I would look at your budget again. You may find that your sleep is more disturbed and you have a harder time sleeping and you just kind of wake up feeling more tired. Again, passing influence, unless your unique chart says otherwise. So just know you've got a bit of a stretch where the sleep might not be the best. Aquarius, you can see your cash flow increase as opportunities present themselves to you. Get out and socialize with your friends. It's going to be important to watch your back, as there could be people that pretend to be your friends, but that don't have your best interest at heart. So keep that in mind and avoid any get rich quick schemes. So the thing with these right now is that someone will get rich, but it's not going to be you. So just avoid them. If they sound too good to be true, they probably are. Other thing is, don't loan money to friends, because it's not going to be a loan. You're just not going to get it back. So it's going to be a gift. So as long as you're okay not seeing that money again, have at it. But would not recommend loaning money to friends this month, because you are very, very, very slim possibility of getting repaid on that. Pisces, this is a really good month to promote yourself. It can be making it known, the projects you've accomplished at work, what you've been working on, where you're like what projects you've got in the pipeline that you're working on. Just big thing for you, Pisces, is take action this month. Don't overthink decisions to the point that you miss out on the opportunity. So, while it can be good to weigh the pros and cons, don't spend too long weighing the pros and cons. If your gut says yes, follow that gut instinct. Our guts are very rarely wrong. They are one of our strongest tools if you really tune in and listen. It is important this month to remember to respect your boss, and it can be a really good month to kind of consider what you want your career path to look at, where you want to go, what you see as your next steps. So make a plan, start implementing it, kind of look at where you want to be and work backward to what you need to do today to begin that plan. If you are considering asking for a promotion, really gauge your employer's reactions before making any demands. I'm not saying for you it could be a potential good time, but I also know a lot of companies are making cuts. So really watch the demands, don't over demand things. That is your January 2024 insights and astro forecast. Again, broad high level generalizations, and I really, again, you can book a reading below, a consultation below for the natal consultation if you've never done one. If you need a yearly update, you can do that. But I always say, if you haven't done a natal consultation with me, you cannot book a yearly update until after you have done a natal consultation. So we can work with your chart. But happy 2024. This year has some interesting things in store. I think it's going to be an interesting year. So keep that in mind. And I hope everybody has a wonderful January, and I look forward to seeing y'all in February. Until then, again, remember, don't start resolutions. I would recommend, my recommendation, do what you want, it's your life. But I think you're going to be most successful after January 11th new moon. So enjoy, and I will see y'all in February.